Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro. We're taking a look at a full moon in Virgo today on March the 7th, 2023. It occurred at 7:40 a.m. Eastern Time. And here's the forecast that I've written for it. Full moon in Virgo, Tuesday, March 7th, activates Virgo's healing and problem-solving talents within you in response to an emotional intensity which brings something to a point of crisis and transformation. Repressed or ignored feelings will come out for analysis and healing, or perhaps you will go on a cleaning and eliminating blitz. This full moon is busy and complicated as the moon forms a sesquisquare to Pluto in Capricorn, a quincunx to Jupiter, Venus, and Chiron in Aries, a trine to Uranus and Taurus, a square to Mars in Gemini, and an opposition to the Sun, Mercury, and Neptune in Pisces. Mars in Gemini forming a mutable T-square with the moon in Virgo and the Pisces planets, a sextile to the Aries planets, and a trine to Saturn, demands you respond to issues from both the practical and spiritual perspective. Discerning Virgo seeks to define and do, while the opposing sign of spiritual Pisces is nebulous and content to be. And you will be keenly aware of feeling both simultaneously. Times of crisis and need often make the divine gifts of healing and inspiration within you more accessible, but it is up to you to utilize them. To see a world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wildflower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour, expresses the complexity of this full moon. Read the full poem by William Blake for more insight. So let's take a look and see what all of that energy looks like. And you can see how busy the moon is as it's forming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 energy exchanges with a whole bunch of planets, with Pluto, with Mercury and the Sun and Neptune. And actually we've got a conjunction, not by sign, but within degrees, just allowed there between Saturn and Mercury. So we have these two kind of combining forces. Saturn in Aquarius, it's at its very final degree, and we are making the changeover. I believe it occurs today or tomorrow, when Saturn is going to come out of Aquarius and enter Pisces. And then we've also got all of this Aries energy, and this is a beautiful combination of Venus and Jupiter with Chiron in Aries. It places the focus of attention on you. And what are your needs? What do you need to look at? And what do you have to solve or fix? Things that are repressed or unconscious are coming about through that sesquisquare here between the moon and Pluto, as well as that T-square involving the Sun and Neptune in Pisces and Mars in Gemini. So we have a lot of fire and volatility with Pluto and Mars being very active, interacting with the moon, and the Aries planets, which are ruled by Mars. So we've got a lot of heat and a lot of intensity, and then we've got cool-headed Virgo, taking a look at everything, observing, analyzing, sorting, prioritizing, and eliminating and utilizing, figuring out what needs to be done. I look at the mutable signs within the zodiac wheel as being the networkers, facilitators, the go-betweens, the people who can make things happen. They figure out the who, what, when, why, where, and how of things. There's flexibility and adaptability within this mutable T-square, but a direction still has to be chosen, and the work is unavoidable because Mars is making a trine to Saturn. And those are both very work-oriented planets. This is an interesting thing going on over here with the planet Uranus in trine to the moon and in sextile to the Sun conjunct Neptune. Change is going to be for the better, and it may actually be better on the financial level, material level, overall when you decide to get over whatever you're afraid of doing, and you go ahead and do it, and you confront and expose or bring things to the light to be dealt with, you're going to feel a lot freer once that's taken care of. Even though there's work involved with that T-square, as well as some constructive work indicated by the trine between Mars and Saturn, we still have the freeing effect of Uranus making supportive aspects to the moon and to the sun and Neptune. There's definitely the feeling of being in both worlds, where the mundane seems to be all that you see, but in reality, everything has spiritual meaning or significance. It really just depends on which way you want to look at it, but there is no denying that the both coexist side by side. So let's take a look at the Sabian symbol for 17 degrees of Virgo. I believe the lunation occurs at 16 degrees 40 minutes, so we round up. A volcanic eruption. Keynote: the explosive energy of long repressed contents of the subconscious. We are dealing here with the dramatic release of energies which have been kept in check by the outer shell of the ego-controlled consciousness. It may be a spectacular catharsis, but it often takes paths of destruction. Yet unless some form of purification by fire is experienced, the inner pressure of the karmic past, or of more recent frustrations, would shake up perhaps even more destructively the very foundations of the personality. At this second stage, the objective confrontation with an image of the karmic past is replaced by a subjective eruption of repressed memories and primitive cravings. Everything must be released from the psyche seeking to attain the transfigured state. The soul must become empty, the mind translucent. The key word is explosion. On the physical level, when it comes to the energy of healing, and in fact, the time that this lunation occurs, at least in the Eastern time zone, does create the right signs within their ruling houses. We have the moon in Virgo, and Virgo rules the 6th house, which has to do with service-related work, health, healing, exercise, diet, nutrition, dharma, your daily tasks and routines that basically keep you here in body, or how you take care of your body, how you use your body. It's a very physical house, and Virgo can be very much about taking care of those physical things. And on the opposite side of the wheel, houses that oppose each other are always very similar in nature. Same but different is usually what's going on between opposing houses and opposing signs. They're kind of the extremes or the shadows of each other. We've got Pisces energy in this 12th house. Neptune does rule Pisces, so the strength of Neptune is particularly potent right now as it is loosely conjunct the sun and opposing the moon. Mercury nearby as well in a loose conjunction with the sun. They're all combining to create this trio of Pisces intensity with Mercury, Sun, and Neptune. Beauty, healing, inspiration. The 12th house has to do with the dream state, meditation, seclusion, retreat, healing, places of retreat or healing. It can rule physical locations like prisons, hospitals, monasteries, rehabilitation facilities. This is basically the formless or the yin energy where things are manifested, or where if there is an imbalance or something that's not at ease, disease going on the spiritual, psychic, emotional level, it's going to eventually distill into the physicality of Virgo or the 6th house and the body. So the healing here has to be decided upon by Mars and the action taken. Mars is in Gemini, and Gemini is a multiple choice sign. It does rule the third house, and that is a house of communication, formative ideas, imagination, and we have Mars, a planet of action, sitting there at that right angle saying, okay, what are you going to decide? What are you going to do? How are you going to view this? Kind of takes you outside of the opposition to look at all your potential paths that you can choose. And then Mars also makes that trine to Saturn, which is very constructive, and it makes that sextile to the Aries planets, which further backs up action for your best benefit. Aries is that cardinal boss-like fire sign that says I am, and it rules the first house of self. So you have to consider what is best for you. And of course, there's modesty and the Virgo energy and the Pisces energy very often do consider other people's needs or make sacrifices on behalf of others. But if you are not taking care of yourself first, then you are cheating people of everything that you could be. You're suppressing your own talents or abilities, and you are limiting yourself as well as not being fully present for other people. When you fly on a plane, they tell you that you've got to put that oxygen mask on first before you turn to help anybody else. And the same can be said right now under this full moon, that until you have gotten to a point where you're good within yourself, you cannot be fully there for somebody else. So the self-healing is going to be very important at this full moon, and then you will be able to put out that Pisces energy and that Virgo energy in service to others. All right, I think that's it, and until we talk at the next lunation, at the new moon on, I believe it's March the 21st. That's going to be a real mover and shaker. And the next 2 weeks, get things in order, look at all your loose ends, clean things up, get rid of clutter. Don't procrastinate, don't run away and hide. Just do what you have to do and prepare for a massive shift coming when we reach that new moon in Aries in the third week of March. Stay safe, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.